let's get right into it. Legacy, what'd you think of that game number 1?
It was a solid game. I think you had hopped out of chat right as I said, and I was like, I don't know if I'm a genius or an idiot, because the two spots you were asking me what I liked were the person who got first and the person who got fourth. So I think well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next game. But
oh man,
hopefully it'll be closer.
Yeah, and as we get into the game, you asked them to take a little more time on their placements just so we could watch these. Chris gets first pick at 8-5-10. Rob immediately with the 6-4-11, leaving Steve with some pretty good looking third picks, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of taking a look at the board, one thing I notice is there's a lot of wheat this game, unlike the last game. So wheat isn't in as high demand. Whereas, I don't know if you see anything specific, but I see the ore just being, 3-4-10 as not a ton of spots.
Wow, and they are just gifting these spots. Rob saying he went in the wrong spot, which means Steve gets another spot. My eyes go immediately here for Goon, who's in the final spot, the hammer. There's a juicy 5-9-10 in there, which might be one of your first spots. You could go either way, 3-1 port or to the wood port, all on that west side. But you've got really good spots afterwards. 6-4-3, 4-5-11, 3-4-5 even, and start off with a road to cut Chris again. There's so many options here.
I would love to see the 5-9-10 followed up with the 3-5-4. I think while the 6 would be nice to have with that wheat, I think starting off just having that road to have that instant production, in my eyes, is always really nice.
I love the idea of the 3-4-5 to immediately cut out Chris here, but I mean that would be 3 huge plows on Chris all in one day here. That would be too much for me. But 3-4-5, you start off with the road, you build it up to the 3-1 port, you get the brick, you get the wood, you have ore, wheat, and sheep. Goon would have everything that he needs.
Yeah, I think he's in a great spot. I think that 5-9-10 is just, I look at it, it's incredible that it's still up, in my eyes.
Oh my goodness. Goon is memeing these people right now. Dropping it first on the 8 sheep port. Goon is going off meta. That is WildHeart meta.
That is crazy.
And he takes a 6-4-3 in the top. He's coming back for that 4-5-11. This leaves Steve. Steve wants some of that wheat, so he's gonna put a pretty good spot up, probably on this 6-3-11, 9-4-11. It's so hard to predict. So hard to predict.
Yeah, I still look at this, and my favorite spot on probably the whole board is that 5-9-10 that after 5 spots hasn't been taken.
There's still a lot of space on this board, and this leaves Steve pretty open. He had a pretty tough game last go around. This time, free reign, free pick of this board.
Yeah, if that 5-9-10 spot somehow makes it all the way to Chris, that would be insane. Looking at Chris already having the brick and the wood, and then the 5-9-10 giving him all 5 resources at really good values.
Absolutely crazy if it actually makes it back to him. Even Rob, I think Rob would take it. He said he put in the wrong spot to start. So you got to think, Rob won that last one with an ore, wheat, sheep style largest army development card strategy. That seems to be the way that Rob is probably going to play. So that 5-9-10 ore, wheat, sheep looks right up his alley.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh.
Oh, and he's not going to have the chance. No.
So Steve here is a lot of ore, a lot of sheep, and wheat. So he has no road production. So I think we're going to see him go fast double city and play the dev card game.
I could see it. So now it goes back to Rob, who's on 6 wheat, 4 ore, 11 wood down on the southeast. Trying to fill that out. I would assume that he's going to go for some of the sheep. He's 4-5-11. See you later, Goon.
Ooh. So now we got one last spot for Chris. He's got the wood, he's got the brick.
And honestly, Chris has some good looking options. 3, 6, 11, 9, 4, 2. He's got all sorts of places to build to, especially, there's a wood port out on the west. He's on 5, 10 wood already. Pair with an 8 brick. He's going to have 4. No, he's all in 9, 10, building back up. Chris is wild here. We got some wild placements to start out.
Yeah, that is real interesting. And the one thing I don't like here is again, the road placements from a couple of them. Look at that 9-10 that was just placed last. You'd like to see that pointed out, towards the port. While you don't have, the greatest production from all resources, if you can get that 3-to-1 port or that 2-1 brick port while sitting on the 8, that'll definitely help you out with other resources rather than pointing inward.
Yeah, Goon is out here saying good is subjective, much like the meta here. Rob dropping his free road from that 5 wood, 11 bricks starting. He goes down. He's going to get a really good spot. 6 wheat. I thought that was the way that Chris was going to point, was downwards and try to race towards that 6, 12 desert spot to try and cut Rob out of that.
Yeah, looking here. So if you're Rob here, do you prioritize going inward towards that 6, 3, 11, or are you trying to
even better,
just get a spot down in that 6, 11 and race to that 11, 9, 3, since that Steve doesn't really have road building capabilities.
Steve can't race you to anything right now, but Chris is making trades with Goon and with Steve. Wood for wheat. He's trying to make that happen. Now, I'm going to draw your attention to a situation here down on the south, as Goon had dropped a road on that 4 ore towards that wheat port to block out Rob.
Ooh. You can kind of see Goon's full strategy come into play right here. So he's got play for that wheat port with that. He's got the 6 on in the upper left corner.
Yeah, 6 wheat. He's got the 8 sheep, the 4 sheep. Goon has a plan, and I think he did want to block out Rob, who had won the last game. So I don't think the table wants Rob to get away with 2 wins in a row now.
Oh, surely they can't let him win 2 in a row.
I don't know what we do if 30K wins back-to-back here, and they win the icebreaker.
Yeah, that's too much. Come on, 30K. Give some to the rest of us.
All right, let's jump into comms and see where they're at in this early game.
Oh my god!
Social media cloud.
Yo, these guys were quiet for like 3 minutes. Nobody said a word. Thinking.
Oh, they're trying hard now, are they? They're planning out their next 7 moves.
No, that's social
somebody
media
take it. Come on, somebody bite. Somebody bite on this. God damn it!
Sorry.
I can give you wood.
All right.
I'm the wood master.
I'm gonna do it to him only because he did it to me. Oh wait.
Do it to him, Steve. Yeah. What are you doing? What's your game plan here, Steve? Speak it into existence.
He's a rat bastard.
This man cut off my port. He cut off my plan. It's time to hit him.
That seems fair.
Last place
okay,
gamer.
Who wants to get some sheep?
I got lots of sheep on the line. How many do you want?
I've got a sheep.
What do you want? What do you want? Wood for sheep? Wood for sheep?
No, I'll take a clay. If you got a clay, we got some sheep.
I'll take a clay.
No, I don't have clay.
I'll take a grain.
Actually, no, I'll take a.
Yeah.
Trust me, you don't want to give it to him.
I'll send a boat. I'll send a boat.
Yeah, because he's got 8 cards at the moment.
So.
All right, you know what I like most about these guys is that they have really active comms. They're trying to make trades happen. They're trying to make things, appear out of nowhere. They're trying to make the magic happen. And Chris actually gets a trade and a settlement down.
think looking at your chat, I think Kanata has a great point that orange and red are complete opposites on what spots they're on, and you could see a lot of trades coming out. Rhodes going over to Steve, and Orin Wheat going the way of Chris through trades.
You bet. Shout out to Kanata, who's been super active in the Flock Discords, the videos, all of that. There are a lot of great minds here in the Flock community. They're all very good at the game, and I think they might end up teaching, the CCL orgs here a thing or two. That is if they decide to do some VOD review on this game. If they come back and watch these, they'll see all the comments. They'll be able to improve their play. But who does VOD review anyway?
Yeah, who would do that? So what do we got? What do we got going on? Who are you liking so far?
Right now, it all depends how fast Goon can actually get these settlements up and block out Rob from this wheat port. Otherwise, Rob is going to get this 6 wheat doubled up onto this wheat port. It's going to be tough. Goon has to be the one to play spoiler this time. Otherwise, I think Rob might have a handle on this game again. Good wheat on the 6. He catches a piece of the 4. The only other option is if Steve cities up real fast, plays the largest army, goes out to the 9-3-11 and builds up cities. Steve could end up with some big production. I'm not sure about Chris's position. He's on a great 3-1, but an early block here just hinders him so much, and it's only wood and brick. Chris doesn't have what it takes to get into the late game. He's not scaling like everyone else.
I love Rob's positioning. Like, we were talking about that. He does get blocked on that port, but regardless of that, I see a lot of those middle spots that are still really good that weren't taken. That Steve doesn't really have the mobility to get to, and Rob's really the only one that has a chance at those. Looking at the whether he stops at the 6-11, the 6-3-11, the 9. The board, looking at that 3-1 port, things like that. I really like the positioning here from Rob.
Yeah, and with that, we complete the plow with Goon building on the wheat port. So good. Let me see some plows in the chat. So where's Steve at right now? He did play out one night. He's got 1 development card down. Rob is rivaling though. Rob's got a development card down and a night played. Steve reveals the second one. Steve marching forward, largest army on the horizon.
Yeah, so I think this is, kind of that question I was talking about earlier of, in the early game, if you're playing Steve's strategy of when do you buy the development cards, when do you kind of try to hold for the city? And I think early game, if it were me, I'd probably try to hold to city up at least once before going into development cards, because while the knights are helpful, they're more useful, I feel like, in the mid game if you're getting blocked. Steve hasn't really been blocked, but the increase in the production would be really nice.
You know what? In this game, I'm okay with a slower start. Steve locking down army. He's got competition. Rob is definitely there challenging him for largest army. It's an arms race right now. But right now, everybody's more or less at 2 points, right? Steve can afford to wait on this city, because if he puts a city down, he will 100% be blocked. And so what he needs is knights to be able to make sure his numbers stay unblocked. While Chris is on 3 points, he's not going to have those cities up. So this is what we call sometimes a slower game. And I think Steve is pacing it out properly, that he will actually scale into the late game with largest army and still be able to get those cities out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Especially, that's something that could really turn the game for him. Just that mobility that he doesn't have. If he's able to build out to that 9-11-3 and maybe get that 3-1 port, think that could be a huge step in the direction for him. So, if he could get some good development cards, that'd go a long way.
Absolutely. At this point, every single one of those development cards will help Steve out. Whether it's a road building, which gives you 2 free roads, whether it's a Year of Plenty that gets you 2 free resources, a Monopoly that lets you steal everyone else's resources, more knights to get largest army, everything's good.
Feel like there's been a lot of rolling, but not a lot happening the last few turns. Trying to look at it, Steve's got 8 cards. Maybe be able to do something with his next turn. Goon hits a big roll there. Picks up ore and sheep. Maybe able to do something on this turn.
You always hope that Goon will be able to do something. What's his next play? Is he going to full plow all the way through to the 11? He built originally his road out to the right, that 3-4-5. He is going to come back. I was going to say 9-4-2 is still open as a triple hex spot.
Yeah, I think that's a great spot for him to go to. Looking at the rest of it, the wood port doesn't really do anything for him. Yeah, 4, but yeah, I'd agree. The 9-4-2 seems like the best spot for Goon to go next.
Goon started off with a single 8 sheep port, and that's as unmeta, as wild as it gets. That's what we love here. Flock, fluffy, all of that. I don't know. Goon's got a decent strategy here.
He's putting all out there for the sheep, so
he is.
You gotta respect the fluffy.
You gotta respect. And even though Rob puts down the 6-11 desert settlement, Rob doesn't get this wheat port anymore. So Goon absolutely denying him of that. Wow, a 3-1 trade. Did you see that? Steve went wood, sheep for a wheat, and Goon gave it to him. A 3-1 trade gets Steve an earlier city than everyone else. First city of the game. This game looking much better for Steve.
Huge trade. I think it's interesting. We pointed out earlier that 5-9-10 spot went kind of uncontested the first round through. And that's the one that he chooses to city up first rather than the 3-10-8, and I do like that decision.
Yeah, meanwhile though, Goon is just trading in the sheep. 2-1. He gets a wood, a brick. I think he's just waiting on that wheat and that sheep to come back. Goes ore for sheep. They're colluding right now, trading back and forth. I give you a city, you give me a settlement. 9-4-2 settled up for Goon.
Huge trades from Goon. The port, you can kind of already see he's starting to pay those dividends. Now he's doubled up on the 4 sheep.
Doubled up on the 4 sheep. He's got the 8 sheep. He's got the 4 ore. He's got the wheat port, the sheep port. Goon's actually shaping up to be in a pretty good spot. And you know what? He couldn't do this without good trades.
Yeah, he must be wheeling and dealing. I don't know if we've gotten into their chat in a while, but it'd be interesting to see with, I think, back-to-back turns with trades. What's going on in their chat?
Let's go check it out.
I'm here for you.
As long as we can all agree, just keep the robber on that double A, the clay. Just keep it there.
You were getting
I'm A. Right here, man. Handshake. I believe it.
Okay, Rob.
Oh my god. Hey, wait. What continent is this island? Wait a minute.
Look, these guys are making air handshakes. They're making deals.
Oh my God,
Goon
really
is
bad.
sweet talking his way into this.
All right.
Goon
Man,
is
let me end my
definitely
turn.
sweet talking them.
I was about to say, this man's thinking for a long time.
I'm just
He's got no more
blasted and you
moves.
realize I didn't end turn.
Yeah, I've done that. Get that shit out of here.
Okay, take this.
I think
Go
they had
next.
made a deal to keep it on the 8 brick and to keep Chris down.
What's
Surprisingly,
with the Chris hate?
I get to decide, how the dice roll. It's just happens, man.
Oh my god, dude.
I lost play already.
I can't.
A
believe
big
you took
mono
all of my
here
sheep.
from Rob on the sheep.
Team Europe,
what
give me
you
half
got?
What?
Did you guys just catch Rob taking all of your sheep?
Yep. It stings. I
I'm
gotta
not gonna lie, I
say.
was hoping for more sheep than that.
Who needs some sheep?
Goon.
Who
That was
needs
the
some sheep?
first mono. Big plays coming out from Rob, but Goon, you're playing spoiler here. You're blocking out his wheat port. You're blocking him at all ends, making these deals happen.
Look. Even if I don't win, I want them coming to me for what they want, for what they need. I'm here for everybody, man. All right, I'm here for everybody.
He's trading everybody. I like your position,
you want
Goon.
more?
I like your position. I like where you're at.
This is not an objective commentary here. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, how much is he getting paid to say this?
Hey, I never promised.
tell me.
Chris, I never promised.
This guy's hunting for a city. Don't give it.
I'm actually hunting for another development card.
All right, we'll bring it back here. Chris is gonna have a tough time. Chris would not be the one that I'd be blocking. I'd be moving it on. Goon is trying to make trades with everybody happen. You know, he just says he's a man of the people. He's gonna trade with everybody. Make sure he has what everybody needs. You need it, I got it. I think Goon's in a good spot to maybe get an early city here, second behind Steve.
Yeah, Goon's definitely playing the people game well, and getting these trades, working some people over, and I think it's been working to his advantage. So if he can keep getting these good trades and keeping that robber off of him, like we caught in the beginning of that conversation, that'll be pretty big for him because blocking that 8, for blocking all of his sheep coming in could be pretty rough on him.
I mean, Goon did used to work at UPS. Melly's in here calling him the Amazon warehouse, but you know what? He is the UPS guy. He will show up at your doorstep with exactly what you need when you need it or when you least expect it. But Chris, right now, longest road, 5 points. Chris takes the lead for the first time tonight.
Wow. Did not see, Chris jumping out the lead. I think, one thing to keep in mind is that, that is road, and while it gives you 2 points, it doesn't really offer a ton of value from a production standpoint. And, that 8's been consistently blocked. I think we heard him say something like he's lost 12 bricks, something like that. And that's really limited his, production. But if you can get it started going, build a settlement, maybe getting on to, that brick port, I think we could start seeing some moves from Chris.
Yeah, be careful here as Rob buys another development card. He's probably going to make some moves with those too. He's actually got 2 tucked away there. Steve, 2 nights played, 1 development card, rolls a 10 for extra ore. He's got 11 resources. Does he have largest army? He would have played it by now, you'd assume, unless he's saving it.
Wow, the 10's just a massive roll for Steve. That gives you all the ore you need for a city. So if he can, manage up some wheat, get a second city up, that'd be pretty big.
Steve coming up big this game, maybe a double city, maybe more development cards here. Steve is going ore for wheat. I like this. Steve has an abundance of ore right now, and people want it. People want that ore. Rob goes ahead and trades for wheat for ore. The second city, Steve double citied.
Yeah, great play from Steve. And, like you mentioned, ore, while Steve has a plenty, nobody else really has it. There's a couple people on that 4, but, it's not a commonly rolled thing. So even though they know they're giving something away, that they're still going to trade for that ore.
Oh, that's a 3-point turn right now. City, and he takes the largest army. Steve at 6 points in the lead now.
Yeah, and he's still got 7 cards behind that after. So, there it is, another development card. I was gonna say you'd be expecting to see quite a few development cards, pretty much I'm expecting Steve to be, with his level of production, buying a development card and playing one almost every single turn from here on out.
And he buys one, but Goon follows up right behind him and buys another off a roll of a 2 sheep to exactly clear out Goon's hand. How fortunate is that?
Wow, what a perfect roll.
Yeah, 7 here. Chris is deciding. It's finally off of his 8 brick. It was on the 4 ore, but now they're finally starting to rob the 10 ore of Steve. That is a crippling blow to the economy of Steve. Steven Farms.
Yeah, that's the one disadvantage when you've got double city on one spot is it becomes quite the target. But looking at the other spots, you still have the 3 for the ore, and really from your perspective, looking at it, you're the one with all the dev cards coming in, right? So you hopefully have knights to unblock that on almost every turn.
And I wonder if Steve does have another knight to unblock that. But no, it doesn't matter. Rob rolls a 7 and has to move the robber off. But it's still on Steve. It's on the 8 sheep. This also catches Goon on that one. So Goon only at 4 points. Rob with a road building. Where's he going?
Oh, interesting.
He drops a couple of roads down, 6, 11, 12. Can't build there, but he might get to the 3-1 port. And that's a contest for longest road against Chris.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely building towards longest road. I'm still staring at that 9, 3, 11 in the middle of the board. 3 different players right next to it that nobody really wants to make a move for it.
You're absolutely right. That road builder could have been on that 4-11, 9-4-11, and could have been 2 roads there. Rob could have settled that down, absolutely. But no, Steve drops the road down. He's pointing to it. It's dangling out there.
Steve's making the play. He wants it.
He's making the play. He's got so much ore here. He's actually 4-1ing that ore inwards. But a 4 gets rolled. Goon with the ore double sheep.
And the robber Goon with the movement onto that 10 spot again.
Yeah, Goon knows what's up here. Steve is objectively in the lead here, 6 points. Chris at 5, Goon at 4. Rob this time, last place with 3 points.
Yeah, I think Rob still has a lot of spots that he can expand to. Still has a 3-1 that he can get to. So, while he's in last right now, I definitely think he still has some chances.
Yeah, he's going to bust out a knight right now, putting him at 2 knights played, slowly chasing after Steve and that largest army. 8 resources. Rob has to either look for an extra road settle onto that 11, 12, 3-1 port on the southeast, or come back and build 2 roads and a settlement to steal that 9, 3, 11. But he goes for a development card instead.
Yeah, I wish there was a feature from a cast perspective to see what some of these dev cards are. You look at Rob, he's got 2, Steve's got 1, Goon's got 1. Be interesting to see, are they, holding knights and just kind of hanging on to them, or are there victory points under there? Maybe a big monopoly that could get some value later on.
Could be a big monopoly, but these 10s, Goon thinks he's hacking on these 10s. The 10s keep rolling. Steve keeps collecting. Rob connected his roads. He's at 6 segments, tying Chris for longest road for the time being. Neither poised to get 10 right away, but it is Steve's turn right now with an extra dev card hidden among 5 resources.
Yeah, and 4 of those are the ore that just got rolled. So he's trying to wheel and deal, trading away some ore for some other resources. I think his next move looks like it's, he wants that settlement.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part. As good as the 10 ore is, there's no port to go with it. There's no ore port, no 3-1 port. A bank trade is still 4-1, and Goon is hitting on these 2s.
Oh wow, that's something you never want to see as a player. Having to trade 4 of the scarcest resource on the table just for 1 brick. But you know, you got to do what you got to do, and I think he really wants that settlement, which is the right play.
8 gets rolled, but it is blocked. Chris actually making some moves, drops a settlement down, finds themselves at 6 points, and another road. He's coming back for that brick port. You know, Chris is going to end up with a lot more points than last game.
Chris has, you know, quietly been unblocked and uncontested on that 8. I say that and I think I cursed him there.
Caster curse.
Because he
Thank
immediately
you,
gets boxed. Hey, I gotta caster curse somebody. I'm the person who always gets caster cursed, right? You know. But yeah, it's nice to see Chris being able to actually, at least for a few turns, not have that blocked, get his, you know, economy going, getting a couple more settlements up.
Man, it's one of those, you know, let's watch Legacy here on Deckard play or on Lucio playing so well. He's escaping everyone. Oh wait, he gets caught. It gets blown up. Caster curse.
Ooh, yeah.
That's how it always happens.
It's, you know, always, you know, all these perfect plays. Let's highlight him, and then, ooh, he didn't cue the Diablo wallbang, and he's dead.
That's always an oops. Steve gets blocked out. Goon, 8 resources. No city for Goon this game just yet. He is a bit slower, but the 4s have been rolling. He just hit a 4 before this, which is an ore and 2 sheep, and the 2 sheep with the sheep port make 1 of anything. So Goon can actually trade those 2 sheep in for 1 of something else. Now he just has to decide whether he wants to keep building more roads and get somewhere else, or if he wants to go ahead and save up for that city.
Yeah, I feel like Goon's been struggling just with the number set. You know, looking at his numbers, he's, you know, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. He's got, you know, a decent spread, but a few of those are, you know, some pretty uncommonly hit numbers, and feels like for a couple of rounds of the board, he hasn't really been able to do much. So, and hopefully for his sake, that, you know, he's able to make a little bit of a move here coming soon. Because I think looking at, you know, Chris and Steve making moves the past couple turns, you know, they could be getting out of hand here soon.
You know, and people do get antsy. You know, you see other people building their cities, building their roads, their settlements, and you're just holding onto your cards. You start to feel like you have to use your cards, especially your development cards, and they kind of burn a hole in your pocket. So that you kind of feel forced to use them before you want to. Now, Goon's a patient man, though. You know, Goon's got this personality where he'll do whatever Goon wants to do at Goon pace.
Yeah, and I mean, that patience can definitely pay off. And I agree, though. When everyone's making moves, building roads, building settlements, cities, it's like, I just want to do something on my turn.
Goon did get a 2-1. Steve says this is getting heated. There's got to be some table talk. Let's jump into that, Legacy. Let's see how heated it's getting.
Wait a second, you get time to move? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, you only have 14 seconds to move. This man stole your resources and he stole your time, dude. Oh my god.
We all play HOTS. We're all wasting our time anyways.
Oh my god.
Okay. So I'm opening the trade hub. I got wood and I got clay. So
what do you want? What do you want? Talk to me.
I would take everything.
I can't give you everything.
Okay.
Talk to me.
I have sheep
I'll
and
give
ore.
you an ore for wood and a clay.
What do you need, Steve?
I'll give you 2 ore for a wheat.
Where's the wheat coming
and
from?
wood or what?
Yeah, where's we coming from? They didn't have.
Chris doesn't
That's
make
the point,
any
there it
room.
is.
Chris is on wood and brick.
Alright.
Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
Check mark. No.
You're messing up, bro. You're messing up.
No,
He's about to own you right now, Chris. This man is taking advantage of you.
Don't listen to them.
All right.
Really?
Hey.
Yeah.
No, this man, he's nothing but a siren. Don't
All
sing the
right.
song.
Hey, that's a good deal.
Okay,
I like
good.
that
Don't-
deal. That's a
Good.
good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Chris's position. He's at 6 points
We'll
this
see.
game. Steve's at 6. Cities, armies. Who's our favorite to win right now?
Great.
I have no idea what you're saying. He sounds like a robot.
And I
Oh,
think
my bad.
it's-
I was asking who's our favorite to win right now.
I'm gonna
I would
say
actually
Steve.
say it's Chris. It's Chris.
Yeah, of course.
Really?
You fucking-
We are all begging this man for his clay whenever it
blocking my
hits. It's
clay.
ridiculous.
I
haven't moved the rubber in forever,
Hey.
dude. I moved it away from your.
I'm a message
These guys
you
are
right
trying
now.
to bring
These
you
guys
down.
holding-
Oh my god, dude.
I declare shenanigans.
I declare it.
So all I heard was you guys are begging Chris, not just for his clay, but you guys are begging Chris for the wood too. That's all I heard. Because he
I
looks
didn't
so
hear anything
good.
you said.
I heard. Did wood. I'm like, you know. I'm willing to make some cereal out of wheat,
anybody
but
got-
I don't have it.
On the Provisio, this is going to give me longest road.
The only guy who's gonna give you brick is gonna be Chris,
Why
and
would
he's
you
holding
say
on
that?
to the longest road.
Lord,
Well,
baby
no, Chris
Jesus,
isn't going to give it.
some rock.
He's got the A
We
block.
did it. Oh my god, lads, we hit. Should go to Vegas
I'm
right
doing
now.
so badly.
Yes.
Oh my god,
I
this guy
think
is
he's on eight.
actually out of
Because
control.
I'm pretty.
He's on 8.
Yeah,
Yep.
but developed
Yep,
cards
yep.
point card, I think.
Hey, who's giving you that intel? That's not true.
I mean, you've had a development card for like 10 rounds.
Yep.
So I'm Holy fuck, how much sheep are you getting?
All right, all I heard
Wait a minute, this man built a resort on the beach.
That's right, dude.
built a resort on the beach. All I heard was you were all begging Chris for his clay and his wood.
Yeah.
Especially for the wood. Wait a minute.
Especially, it's because he's dressed up so nice. He looks so good.
Yeah.
Is Steve winning this game?
Aaron, ask
That's true. That's true.
Say
Is Steve winning this game?
he's not gonna win this.
I'm hoping so. You know, we're close. We're
I
close.
think he's going to win it.
He's turned it around from
Come
game
back in
number
this
1.
century.
Rob, you okay, dude?
I'm doing
You right down
so
there?
bad. uh,
All right. So it looks like they are absolutely ganging on Chris, who they think is in the lead. They're ganging on Chris because of that 8 brick that nobody else is getting. No one else has brick. Chris is keeping it for longest road. He's gonna get to that brick port, and he won't have to trade with anyone else.
Ooh, he does get the 7 rolled, so he gets to move it off of his 8. Maybe he can do something with the next few rolls.
The biggest part right now is Chris absolutely needs to get a city on that 8-5-10, and he traded for 2 ore with Steve. That's a good start.
Yeah, I don't think I would be trading with Steve at this point. Yeah, I look at this as, I think that Rob, that mentioned that Steve's been holding on to one, development card for a while. There's a decent chance that's a victory point. If he gets another development card, he's can basically lock up longest army, because there's 2 people sitting there at 3. I think that's the big thing for Steve is he
Nice.
needs to keep control of that, and I think he's in the driver's seat for this game.
Yeah, 7 points right now, but if Rob steals largest army, that drops him to 5, brings Rob up to 5. Suddenly everyone's at 5, and Chris is at 6 with longest road. So Chris is not in too terrible of a spot, but like I said, that city's going to make all the differences, along with this brick port to go with all this wood that he's got, and the 3-1 port. Goon's kind of in a stuck spot. He built that, beachside resort on the 8 sheep, but that's blocked right now.
Yeah, and one thing I also want to point out is, Rob's out here playing the, oh, I'm in last place, it feels bad, but he's a single road and a single night away from 4 points. So he is, and as we say that, he takes longest road.
And
so
he takes
he
longest
is
road. Yeah.
very much still in this game.
Rob takes longest road. Double 4s hit back to back. Goon is licking his lips. 12 resources right now. Goon going 2-1 with the sheep. You see 2 wheat come down in the city. 6, 4, 3. Goon's starting to make some moves.
Yeah, that's a big move. That 4 now, is the big money ticket for Goon. With that 8 consistently blocked, I think that's going to be something that's going to be blocked pretty much back and forth with the other 8 the rest of the game. Looking at Goon and Steve being kind of front runners, it's a way to block both of them.
Oh, and don't let that go unnoticed. Goon actually had a development card on that turn, didn't unblock the sheep, which leads me to believe it's not a knight, and he buys another card on this turn. It's possible he has either the victory point, the monopoly, or something else, and he buys another card on that turn. So up to 2 points, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point there that, when you see someone, like we were talking about how Goon kind of, he's made some moves his last couple turns, but there was a nice stretch there where, he wasn't able to do much, but didn't play that dev card. You really got to lean towards that's probably a victory point. Or maybe a monopoly, I think. But, if it was some other sort of, year of plenty, something like that, you feel like you'd probably play it to, try and make a move to keep up.
Tragedy as the 8 rolls, but sheep still blocked. That means Steve and Goon blocked out of it. But Chris, 2 brick, gonna be happy about that. It's Rob's turn though. 8 resources. He's got 9 roads on here somehow. He still has 2 settlement opportunities, but no city in sight for Rob. A slower game, a flatter game for Rob for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely slower, but he's doubled up on the 6. He's got the 4 ore. He can definitely get to a point where he can build cities. He's also got 2 spots already set up that he can build settlements on that he doesn't need to even build a road to. So I think Rob, is in a great spot. Like I was saying, a turn before, that Rob, while kind of hanging out there in the last place for a while, kind of middle of the pack, could make a quick jump in 2 to 3 turns, all of a sudden up into first place.
4-1 for a wheat, and you see it there. Rob without the ports though, not super efficient in terms of economy. He goes 4-1, buys a development card, and that could be the one that puts him over for largest army, unless Steve plays a knight right now and he passes his turn.
Ooh, yeah, that's also a big tell on Steve not playing something there, trying to defend longest army. You have to imagine that's a victory point as well, as long as he's held that. So you have to remind me, how many victory points are in the deck total? Is it 4?
There are 5 in there, and right now
5.
I think Goon's got one. I think Steve's got one. Rob might even be banking one. Goon just bought another development card after playing a knight as well.
Yeah, so I think a couple of those are definitely accounted for, just given how long they've been held.
I think there's 2 to 3 victory points out there. So it's going to be much tougher for Steve to win if he doesn't hold on to Army. 12 is so big. 4. Chris gets that rare wheat that Chris shouldn't have at all, and he steals road back with 10 segments.
Oh.
Longest road, 7 points for Chris. He's feeling good.
Yeah, that was a huge turn for Chris. The 12 that you kind of, you put your settlement out there as like, maybe I'll get one of these in the game, maybe 2, and it comes at a huge time for him to be able to place a settlement and take longest road back.
Now comes the tough part. Chris has, no way! Rob has drawn another monopoly. 2 games in a row, he monos all the ore. He puts a city down 6-4-11, a game changer.
Huge monopoly to get that city up. We were just talking about how he really needed to city up, and he's able to place it on a spot that he's going to get the ore and wheat from, and potentially build more cities.
Wow, 2 monopolies. I was just speaking about how good Chris was doing, but Chris is at all 5 settlements. You're at the beginning of the game, you start with 5 settlements and 4 cities, and you're not allowed to build any more than that. So even though Chris has built 2 roads to this 3-1 port, he cannot build another settlement. He's got to city up, that is upgrade one of these settlements, take the settlement back, and then he can build another one.
Yeah, he does have that brick port now though, so if that 8 can land a few times, he can hopefully get a city up and then expand on that 3-1 and could be looking good.
The 8 is a big deal, but right now the old saying is if you're on 8s, 6s will roll, and if you're on 6s, 8s will roll. Right now the 6s are rolling back to back, and Goon with the wheat port is trading in 2-1 and 2-1.
Ooh, Goon getting the city.
Goon's on a city, 7 points with 2 down development cards. We put one of those on a point. Goon could be at a sneaky 9 points. One more city might be the Goon GG WP.
And what a game it would be if the first spot on that 8 sheep port could result in a win. That's definitely fighting the odds.
That is the stuff that legends are made of. If Goon wins this one, starting off on an 8 solo sheep port and wins the game, we're going to be talking about it for decades.
I mean, I'd love
maybe
to see
days
it.
or
It's
maybe
part of the
hours.
flock.
I don't know.
Part of the flock, you make your whole strategy about the sheep. You gotta love it.
You gotta love it. Goon knows what this is all about. He's playing for it. He's playing for the memes, but you know what? He's making the memes a reality. And right now, he does actually seem to be the closest to winning.
Yeah, I think the thing that I love about this game more than the last one is you look at everyone. Every single person can win this game. Everyone has a win con.
Everyone but
last
Rob.
game, Chris kind of got bullied out. Well, I mean, Rob's still at a point where he's one night and 2 roads away from 4 points. So, while he's sitting there not in the best spot, he did just get a city up. He could potentially, if the rolls go his way, I know there's been a few 6s, get a second city up, get another night. There's at least a chance at a win con. Versus the last game, there were a couple people that were kind of just out of it from getting a few bulldozes happening.
True. And Steve here is looking to retain army. Rob didn't take it, by the way.
Interesting.
So Steve still has a shot to buy some development cards, get back ahead on that pacing for largest army, and stay ahead of Rob. And that's critical. Right now he's at 7 points, potentially 8. He needs 2 more points. There's going to be one more city. He could actually just buy another development card for another victory point and just keep buying knights too. So every single development card for Steve should push him further towards his goal. 4-1. Did you see this trade? Sheep, triple wheat for a single ore.
Wow. Huge trade. Wait. Steve didn't even buy anything after that.
And he holds on to it. I'm not sure where that one is going. That is some kind of a deal behind the scenes.
That's a bold play because, he buys an ore, doesn't, or trades for an ore, doesn't buy anything with it. So you have to assume at this point he's trying to save up for a city, but Steve's the one sitting on all the other ore spots. So, if ore is going to roll before your next turn, you'd think it would hit there, but maybe he's just trying to avoid getting 7, get the resource that he wants and needs and doesn't have right now.
And 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Chris goes or. He made that big trade with Steve. He gets a city down because he's got that wheat. He might even be able to make another one on the next turn.
Wow, big plays. I feel like this is just back and forth every single turn.
Chris is looking fantastic right now. The city was the hardest part, but he's got so much wheat from those last trades. He even hits 3 wood here on the 10. He's going to have even more to 3-1 and port away. Steve hits 4 ore, by the way, as it gets back to their turn. A 12, that's massive for Chris. A city does come down for Steve, who's on 8 points plus a hidden card, I think 9. He's got 3 more resources. Steve could be really close. Goon rolls on their turn a 4 or 4 sheep.
4 sheep, so 2 cards of his choosing. It's a big chance for Goon to make a play here.
I think he's dropping a city down. Goon with the win! No! Good! Good! Oh!
Oh man.
Good!
Oh,
He won with an 8 sheep port.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Easy, not even close.
Not even close. Steve, Chris, you guys were looking so good. What happened?
is it 10?
I was
couldn't hit.
close.
I just couldn't hit the numbers that needed to be hit.
If I wouldn't have been blocked 14 clay, this would have been over ages ago.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts. The
He
14
only,
play.
hey, to be fair, he only just discovered that. Like, I had to remind him that he had the clay port because he was like, "I'll give you guys
Oh
clay
my
for this and this," and we're just like, "Dude, you got a clay port." He's like, "Oh yeah, thanks."
Oh, you're helping him out. You helped him out. You know,
Hey,
that
hey,
city
we're-
was huge. I think Chris was on a second city after that, after the 12 rolled.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, he was close. He was close. And Steve, triple city, dropping a 4-1 trade. You were making moves too.
It was a comeback, man. But you know what? It doesn't matter in the end. It was all about that stupid sheep port.
Hey,
I don't know.
hey.
Yeah, whoa.
I don't know why they were blocking. I don't know why they were blocking the sheep port so hard when those 10s were hitting, dude. I was
Yeah,
like,
but
"Yeah,
it
we
didn't
gotta
win?
stop the 10."
Oh my
That
god.
10 was a
I
big
mean,
deal.
That 10 was a big deal.
What
Okay,
is
you-
the point standing here? How
The
are you
points,
standing in points?
10, 9, 8, 5 in this game. 10 for Goon, 9 for Steve, which is a big jump. Chris kind of, consistent. He got 8 here. And then Rob, what happened? Where are you?
Honestly, my initial misplacement of the start fucked me. It really did. I would have done so much better if I hadn't done that, because I would have had early cities, but instead I got into a pissing war with Chris for longest road, and I lost.
Did. Yeah, and Chris, you know, he had the longer stream of roads. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, getting into a longest road fight with someone who only has wooden
Wood and
bricks
Yeah.
is a tough matchup. But you asked for score update.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Legacy's got it for you.
Let's go.
currently in first place, we have Goon with 16 points.
Oh!
In second place, we have Rob with 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
And
the winners.
Tied for third, we have Chris and Steve at 13.
Oh!
For third.
This is
Last-
close.
Last place to
Oh,
first place,
fuck.
only 3-point difference, so this game might be it all.